Kasper Schmeichel has made an emotional statement after doctors told him his playing career is over. We've also got a big transfer update on a former Hoops favourite who could be heading back to Glasgow, a Dutch club responding directly to Celtic's reported interest in two of their players, and a Hearts player finally breaking his silence on that incredible final day at Celtic Park. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Kasper Schmeichel has confirmed he will retire from football when his Celtic contract expires in June, after doctors told him it would not be safe to return to playing at elite level following his shoulder injury. The goalkeeper has not played since Celtic's defeat against Hibernian back in February. At the time, there was still hope he could recover before the end of the season, but the damage turned out to be much worse than anyone had feared. He originally hurt the shoulder while away on international duty with Denmark, before making it worse during the Europa League match against Stuttgart. Looking back now, it is clear he was trying to get through competitive matches while carrying an injury serious enough to end his career. Despite being unavailable on the pitch, Schmeichel remained closely involved with the squad throughout the run-in. He travelled to Motherwell, was present for the title-clinching win over Hearts, and stayed close to the group right through to the Scottish Cup final victory over Dunfermline. He opened up on the decision in an interview with Danish broadcaster TV2, saying, "When my contract with Celtic expires in June, I will be bringing my playing career to an end. This is a decision that has been made for me. I have consulted with various surgeons and experts regarding my shoulder, and they have told me that I should not expect to return to playing top-flight football. I didn't realise how bad it was back in March. When I landed on it in February, I could tell straight away that something was seriously wrong. The dream and the hope was that I would return to playing football again, that I would have surgery and be able to fight my way back, but I also want to be able to perform at a certain level, and the assessment was that this would be very difficult. I suppose everyone dreams of saying goodbye on the pitch, but you don't always get what you want. I've gained so much else along the way, so football doesn't owe me anything. So many memories. What stands out most clearly are the friendships and connections I've made. I would have loved just one more match, but unfortunately, that wasn't to be." Schmeichel was a huge part of Celtic's success. He kept 19 clean sheets in the league during his first season at the club, played a major role in the League Cup final win over Rangers, and handled the demands of Champions League football against Atalanta, Leipzig, and Bayern Munich with real class. Retiring without a final match is a tough way to go, but his contribution to this club will not be forgotten. What a servant. Now for the main story, as there is a fresh transfer development on Julian Araujo, with the former Celtic Lone Star now attracting significant interest from Mexico, and the situation around his future getting more complicated by the day. The Bournemouth defender spent the second half of the season at Celtic Park before an injury ended his loan spell early in April. Despite that setback, he rebuilt momentum during his time in Glasgow and has since returned to the Mexico national team squad ahead of the World Cup, which has naturally increased attention around what happens next. During his time at Celtic, Araujo showed real quality. His pace, his direct running, and his ability in transition suited Scottish football well, and he played a key role in some important results during the title run-in under Martin O'Neill. Celtic supporters had naturally been wondering whether a permanent return to Glasgow might be possible once the World Cup is over. However, fresh reports from Mexico are now complicating that picture. Mexican journalist Gerardo Gonzalez has reported that Monterrey have already made contact via their sporting director, Dennis Teclosa, while Cruz Azul have also been mentioned as a club that appeals to the player if he returns to Liga MX. The door to Celtic is not completely closed. Araujo already knows the environment, the dressing room, and the demands of playing for this club. With Alistair Johnston firmly established as first-choice right-back, the question is how much game time he could realistically expect if he came back permanently. Much will depend on what Bournemouth want to do with him after the World Cup, and whether Celtic decide right-back remains a priority area this summer. For now, though, the strongest movement around his future appears to be coming from Mexico rather than Glasgow, and that is something the club will need to keep a close eye on. In other news, Celtic's reported transfer interest in two players from Dutch club Go Ahead Eagles has received a direct response from the club's chief executive Jan Willem van Dop, who confirmed no official approach has arrived from Celtic at this stage. The two players in question are 22-year-old attacking midfielder Jacob Broom and goalkeeper Jari de Busa. Celtic scouts have reportedly been monitoring Broom for some time after failed attempts to sign the Danish midfielder during the January transfer window. He contributed goals and assists across domestic and European competition this season for Go Ahead Eagles and is valued at around £4 million. Debusa has also attracted attention after playing every league game this season and is entering the final year of his contract at the Dutch club, which makes him a potentially smart piece of business. Speaking directly to Celtic News, the Go Ahead Eagles chief executive Jan Willem van Dop kept his response short and to the point, simply confirming there is no official offer on the table from Celtic at this stage. That does not mean the interest is not real. Scouts watching players and formal bids being made are two very different things, especially this early in the summer window. Debusa in particular is an interesting name given the situation in goal following Schmeichel's retirement. A goalkeeper who has played every league match in the Eredivisie, entering the final year of his deal, would represent good value if the price is right. Celtic are expected to continue assessing options across multiple areas of the squad as the window approaches. In other news, Alistair Johnston has opened up on the period when Wilfried Nancy was in charge of Celtic, defending the manager and arguing that the timing of his appointment simply worked against him from the very beginning. Nancy lasted only 33 days in charge before Martin O'Neill returned to stabilise things. His spell quickly became chaotic as Celtic dropped ground in the title race, performances dipped badly and the team looked visibly uncomfortable with the tactical demands being placed on them in the middle of a packed fixture schedule. Johnston himself never played under Nancy due to the hamstring injury that kept him out during that entire period. He had worked with Nancy previously in MLS, however, and understood what the manager was trying to implement, which made it all the more difficult to watch from the sidelines while results kept slipping. Speaking to the Celtic Way, Johnston said, "It was tough just because I couldn't be out on the grass. I knew what he wanted to implement and how different it would be compared to what we're used to here. It was just tough being injured and not being able to get out on the grass and help things and help guys understand exactly what he was trying to look for." Again, French is his first language. There are a couple of things that can get lost in translation a little bit. I was just trying my best, especially off the pitch, just to help guys out. It was a really sticky period. We dropped quite a few points there. It was quite a low in my time at the club. Despite how it ended, Johnston was clear that he believes Nancy will go on and succeed elsewhere, adding that a pre-season would have made a significant difference and that coming in mid-season at a club with no room for patience or gradual development was simply the wrong set of circumstances. It is a fair and honest assessment. The idea was right in terms of the style Nancy wanted to play, but Celtic's schedule left no room to build it during games. O'Neill simplified things, results improved immediately, and the rest is history. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.